with you, man.
Look, I mean this genuinely when I say this to you, right? Genuinely, man to man. This is a bucket list for me, bro. You gotta understand something. I'm 40-some years old, so I've been a part of the culture for a long time. I come from the grind time era. You feel me? So I'm watching you 14 years ago, 13 years ago, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So to me, you're a legend. I know you. I don't know if you know that. You probably do feel that way. I know you get that a lot. But to me, you are a certified legend, sir. So it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely like a go back and forth. Like I'm a legend. I'm slept on to like I could be better. I could be
Right,
what I mean?
right.
But that the mark of an artist, I guess. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. I'm looking forward to this one too, man.
You and Nitty?
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me. Here we got like this one. Yes.
You talk to me, man. Tell me.
Well, hey, listen.
What do I do in this battle?
Well, it's funny though, right? So Nitty went online and I see he said 2-1 him. So he gave you a round, Mac. He gave you a round. How do you feel about that? Do you feel weird?
I don't know if you see my response. I was like, damn, he's going into it knowing he's gonna lose at least one round. I'm like, I got this battle 3-0. But then in parentheses, I put Nitty.
How do you feel though? Blackout 8, Toronto. What we doing?
That's exciting. You know, I've been on. Is it just one Blackout? Maybe just the one. I mean, I know I did the one that Drake was at.
Yes.
I battled DNA there, and that was really exciting just because that element of surprise and not knowing who's battling who, and then as soon as like that second one lines up, the crowd goes crazy. It's like a haymaker in the building, just an announcement matchup. You know what I mean? So to be back on Blackout, but to actually be one of the announced battles is different. I'm really hyped on. I'm really hyped on this one. I think it could. I mean, it's headline the second night. Both nights are stacked. The lineup is crazy. You know. So we just gotta both go in and do what we do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all we have to do to put on a classic. I think it's a good style clash.
So Mac, let me ask you a question. When Organic, whoever called you up and said, "All right, Mac, you know, first of all, I'm glad you're back outside because I know you battled Jen on the Pat State card, right? Jen, I love you, my dude, but Mac with a 30, respectfully, King. I love you, my dude, but Mac with a 30, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? How did you feel? Let's go there first. Because before the Jen battle, you were sitting out on the bench for a while, though, Mac. Am I tripping?
Yeah, my last battle before Jen was A-Ward.
That third round against Ward. Jesus, Lord, again.
Good looks, man. Yeah, that was my last battle, though, was A-Ward in like, I think that was 2019, towards the end of 2019. Yeah, I mean, you know, battle rappers retire and all that shit and always come back. I don't retire, but also I try to always put my energy where I feel excited or inspired. And that throughout my whole career, I think in battle rap, I've popped in for a year and done 4 or 5 battles. Even, you know, I did a run a couple years, it was like 13 battles a year, a lot of overseas shit, whatever. But then I'll be gone for like a year and a half, 2 years. You know, it's just because it takes a lot of energy. And then also it's like, all right, I got that out of my system for a minute. Now let me focus on these other things that got, you know, my creativity bug going. So between Rap Off and the cartoons and getting back into my music lane and finishing the season series and, you know, going into like writing, like trying to write these scripts and different things it's just a lot of different things that I can put creativity into. And what I always just try to do is like, where do I feel excited? Because that is, you know, not even on some, it becomes the easiest, but it always has the best outcome for what I create, you know, just going where the excitement is.
Mac, let me ask you a question. Because you're active in the sense of you're always writing, right? You have your pen is moving and all kind of the books. You got Raising the Bar, you got freestyles and everything like that. Does that keep you razor sharp for a battle like this?
I like to think I like to think so. I mean, even the gym battle, it was pretty last minute, you know, it wasn't as much time to like really memorize and prepare and get comfortable with the material. But there's certain things that came out of it, like just certain little nuances that I'm like, damn, I think I got a little better since my last battle with just these couple little things. And so I do think there is an element, you know, typically classically, even making music, I would, you know, be making hella songs a week, a day, all these things. And then if I go focus on battle rap or cartoons or whatever and take a couple months off, that first joint that I make when I come back is usually one of my favorites in a minute. It's like sometimes getting some objectivity and a break from it just really kind of gives you a new lease and a new life and outlook on the art. So I do think that, but I'm always tapped in, like you were saying, you know, but I'm always tapped, whether we're doing watches or I'm writing rhymes or cartoon battles or whatever, like I still got one foot in and a, you know, an ear to it. So I'm never like losing touch with it.
Mac, how many times in your mind have you retired? Just in your mind, Mac. Just in your mind.
I mean, I don't think I've ever retired in my mind, really. Because just knowing my patterns in myself, it's always like I'm just gonna fall back for a minute. You know what I mean? And then when I get that bug, then I'll suit back up, you know? So I never in my mind, I'm like, I'm done that I can remember, you know what I'm saying? And wanted to retire like that.
So this Nitty battle, it was a no-brainer to take it, right? It was like, okay, you give me Nitty, let's get it cracking. Was it like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's probably been the most requested battle on my feed that I've seen in, you know, over time for the last couple years. Like people have been requesting it for years, you know, but I also think that there's been even more momentum since I hopped back out, battled Jen, and been doing more active even on the watches. So I'm having these dialogues like once a week or whatever and seeing the chat, and everybody's always like, you and Nitty, we need you and Nitty. I'll watch a Nitty battle. Of course, everyone's like, we need you to battle and Matt, all this shit. So I think that it's been in the making for a minute. And when it came across my plate, that matchup, there was a couple names, all of them that really made sense. And I did like a poll on YouTube, like I posted it up, and like Nitty click, like, you know, was number one on the poll. And I was like, I feel like people really want this. Like, what would that battle look like? And then, you know, a couple weeks later, it was booked. So here we are.
Are you expecting the C word out of this?
The C word?
Classic, sir.
Oh, classic. I was thinking casket.
No, C word. Come on, nah. I ain't gonna do that to you, man. Come
on. I think so. I think if he shows up how he should show up, then yeah, well, you know, we should have a classic. Cause look, if you are a Nitty fan and Nitty shows up, he can't lose. It doesn't matter what anybody does. Somebody could jump through a ring of fire, but like if you're like, this is like my favorite shit,
right?
And he delivers that for you, like there's nothing. I'm not gonna like sway you away from that, and vice versa. The same thing for, you know, fans of what I do.
Yes.
But I think that it's a style matchup, and I think if we both do what we're supposed to do and what, you know, people expect of us, our level of pen, then yeah, we'll definitely have a classic.
You're probably one of the best person to ask this question. You battle B Magic, you battle Conceited. Both those gentlemen are probably the best punchers in battle rap history, right? Where do you put Nitty in there? And being that you battle every style in battle rap, especially some of the best punches that you come across, where do you put Nitty at?
I think Nitty's, you know, he's the modern sort of embodiment of picking up that torch. You know what I mean? Okay. And arguably the best puncher in the current landscape. There's a couple names, you know, obviously Twerk,
right,
and plenty of others, but like just pure punching, like yeah, like he's definitely top two, you know. and it's funny because I typically feel like I match pretty well against punchers, but you brought up the
Big
dreaded
K also, my
conceited.
man. Big K,
Yeah,
Big
Big
K
K.
also. You
Well,
better
the reason I didn't mention Big K is I do think he is one of the best punchers, but I also think that people get it twisted with Big K. I think that K does it all and is one of the most effective, and people classify him as a puncher, but he, I think, has really shown and transcended that. Like, even if you look at the biggest body he's caught in the recent years, and one maybe the biggest body of battle rap history, that wasn't based on punches. That was based on an angle. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch him move, like, he's really rapping, he's angling. Him versus Ward, like, it's not just punching. So that's even the reason I hesitated to put Big K there. But he hits just as hard as anybody punching as well. And but it's when you mention conceited, it's funny because when I battled conceited wasn't conceited yet. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, at that time in that landscape, you were there. It almost was like, I was given the look a little bit in that at that time. It was kind of like not that long after, Jump Off, and he was in the jungle catching bodies, but hadn't established himself in grind time yet. And that was in my memory the first real full name flip round. That, because I'm like, what's he gonna do? What's the angle? He's short. He can't do the short thing. What's the jokes and the punchlines gonna be about? And then he does a full name flip, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, there had been name flips before, but it was a whole round.
Yeah, Colin was wilding.
So in a way, Nitty should thank me because I died so he could live now. That death paved the way for him. You know what I'm saying?
Are you ready for the Mac flips, the ill flips, and are you ready for
that? I think they'll be the most creative ones to date, But he could also do the thing like he thinks I'm gonna do that, so I'm not gonna do it. But he better do that. Like, you have to do that, but they will be the most creative ones we've seen.
Have you liked some of his battles of late? The Jazz battle, the what's the battle recently? I know he battled Ace Amin also.
Yeah, I haven't seen them all. I seen part of him in Jazz. Like, basically, like, the first half, like the opening to his second was crazy. Jazz was going in. I want to see him versus Ace though. That
was a good battle.
I like that matchup. I think Ace is a dangerous guy. I'm a fan. But so I here's my thing. I used to really, when I was preparing, watch all my opponents shit, do all the research, but the last couple battles, even like A Ward and stuff, like, I don't really like get inspired watching them. It's like with certain people, I'm like, I get it. Like, I know what you do. Now I need to go to my seclusion in my place and think of how I can, then pick that apart, without getting in the, sometimes, like, I've done this at times by overly, preparing for someone by watching a lot of their shit. It starts to worm in your brain, and like, you almost want to mirror it or do certain things. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I've been staying away from watching too many run battles, but might have to watch one on watch, next week before the battle, just to pick it apart. Is there one that you think I should watch specifically that's like out on YouTube?
I mean, there's some, but with a person like yourself, I think you're right, though. You probably have to watch a battle to know what Nitty does, right? We call him an alien and everything like that. He's one of the best punches. He says a lot of shit. He'd be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure a person like ILLMAC knows what he's getting with
what I need to do is go watch like his Ill Will battle. Be like, okay, so, what version of these ill flips? Has he battled anyone named Mac?
You
Huh?
battled Ill also, so you didn't see how
Yeah,
it
yeah. Has he battled anyone named Mac, like Mac Myron or anything? I go watch his battle versus someone with ill. Go Matt, like, okay, there's gonna be some of these
Yeah.
crossover.
But he's so good at he said some of the wildest shit. He'd be like, damn, I wasn't even thinking of shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because he won't just because he doesn't just like flip the word straight up.
Right.
He'll take the piece of one word that goes into the next word, making that sound, and then do the flip off that. So it isn't just things that have Mac in it. It'll be, it's like pieces of the word that he'll use to create the name flip, even if it's multiple coming from multiple places. But yeah, he is real creative with it.
Are you enjoying the preparation for yourself as you're coming up with your material and your blueprint on what you want to do and what you want to say and what you want to convey to us?
Yeah, it's always stages, The first initial shit usually for me is always the most work and painful of just like obsessing and like which direction am I gonna go? Like what am I gonna do? What kind of lines, the brainstorming, thinking of like the most terrible spending 20 minutes to come out with the most terrible punchline. Like, why did I just waste 20 minutes on that? That's horrible,
Right.
But once I sort of see, for me, I have to like see the whole picture before I can really go in and fill everything in. So that's once I have that sort of skeleton of what I want each round to look like and how, how that benefits me each chapter, essentially, then it makes it easier for me to say, okay, now just say that now. Just go in and say that now. Now it starts writing itself at that point. So at first it's just work and stress and like, oh no, that'll work. This, but then once I finally get that structure, it'll, sometimes I'll sit down and write a round or part, most of around 2 minutes in one sitting. Have to come back and tweak little stuff, but that's the point I'm at where it's exciting right now.
Mac, because you do freestyles, you do music and stuff, and you battle rap, because both of those intertwine sometimes and mess with you in the writing process because you're not writing to a beat, maybe write a cappella,
Nah, it doesn't. I kind of write. It's weird because I with battling and also, the freestyles like raising the bar and in the songs and stuff, I write two different ways. So like in literary terms, if you're a pantser, what they call it, it's like you fly by the seat of your pants. You just start at the top and just write chronologically. That's more how I write on songs and freestyles.
Okay.
But with battles, it's a plotter. I'm a plotter in literary terms, which means like what I just told you, that I have to like see the chapters, the plot points before I can actually go in and really fill it in, So it's kind of like not two different sides of the brain because there is a lot of crossover, but the way I kind of look at the creative process is different.
Why were you not on the GTX anniversary card?
I just didn't want to be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You didn't feel like you of all people like should have been on there though?
I mean, it's like what I said for one with chasing the creativity and going where where you feel inspired at. And that was just a situation or a card that I didn't feel inspired necessarily. And the time, the timing, like even though this is only months later, it's still a different space as far as like what I was doing with trying to write this script on this one show that we're developing and wrap off and all these things. So it's just about where it falls within that,
Mac, I only say that because if I see names like the Saurus, Dirtbag Dad, Carter Deems, I'm seeing Dumbfounded. Like when I'm seeing those SoCon pass on the card, all right, where's ILLMAC? That's what's gonna go to my head. You know what I'm saying? Like
people ask me why I wasn't on the card. I'm just like, there wasn't room for me on the flyer.
Got you. I got you. Why you still battle rap? Why do you still battle?
I mean, I love it. I love the craft. I've been, You know, I won my first battle. I did my first battle ever and happened to win my first, you know, attempt at it in 2001. And it wasn't
Educate
like
me,
a
people,
pre
please. How long
it
you
was
been there, sir? Thank you.
and it
Educate
wasn't
me.
it wasn't like I was a young teenager. I looked like a 10-year-old, you know what I mean? And it wasn't no backyard thing. It was a sold out
Right.
venue, 2,000 people. Awkwards was there. It was like this huge thing in Portland. And I was hooked then, you know what I mean? And it I think it feeds a few different parts of me. The art, the challenge, or strategic side of my brain, you know, the chess play, you know, I was in the chess club and shit, you know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
still play chess like on and off. And it feeds like that kind of strategic part and competitive. I'm very competitive and being able to like outthink my opponent and the I'm in love with the culture, hip hop. I'm in love with rapping. So and I'm a gambler, bro. like I whether it's poker or the Slavish, like I'm get like you can ask Bishop when I be out in
Right.
Toronto. We like
Shout out, I got Bishop.
we'll put $100 on odd or even and have somebody pull out $1 bill and see what the last number is on it. If it like the serial number or whatever,
Right.
if it's odd or even, and like put $100 on that. Like I love gambling, and battle rap is gambling because
Wow.
it isn't just the performance where I go up and rap some shit I wrote that I do love, or that I go up and do a freestyle that I already have. There's a certain element where there's danger involved. I don't fully know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if I'm going to get through my material the way I do. If I do a freestyle, am I going to be able to think of this setup in the next 2 seconds? Because I don't have it yet. So it feeds a lot of different parts of like things that I love, from the gambling to the strategy and competitive nature that I'm kind of built from.
Okay. Mac, we lost two brothers in battle rap, and you battle both of them, right? Bender and Pat Stay, man. Can you tell me the relationship with both those brothers before you battle them?
Yeah,
and
man.
Afterwards also.
Yeah. I was definitely a fan. I mean, am a fan of both those guys. And you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Bender was my first battle on KOTD. And I think my first battle in Toronto, I have the worst memory, but that to say, you know, that was another situation where a lot of people were looking forward to it, and it was a point in time where that gave me a lot on my own creative side, because I realized I don't need to battle people that I don't like stylistically, and battling people I'm a fan of actually kind of brings something else out in me. And that's both the case with both of those, with both Bender and Pat. And it's been the case with some of my best performances, Big K also.
Right.
And it was stuff to where from the gate, I'm like, I'm a fan of them. I think it'll push me. And, you know, I chopped it up with Bender on and off, like about all sorts of shit, you know, from art, you know, he's an amazing artist, to just like deep, crazy cut concepts for songs. And yeah, man, that shit, that was a terrible, terrible tragedy and a blow to the culture. I think he had a unique point of view and style that will never and can never be replicated. And, you know, was a great human being. And I think that's the same case as well. There's a lot of similarity with Pat. Obviously, as an artist, the impact he's had on the culture is undeniable. You know, I think going down as one of the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
Unique voice, like, you know, really put on and gave a whole outlet for Canada and for, you know, where he's from, Nova Scotia and everything, and was a real leader in that way, but also just a hilarious individual. You know what I mean? Like too funny, man. Like, so. And I kicked it with Pat, you know, when I'd go to Canada, you know, we have some ridiculous stories like in Arizona, me and him running around after and before duel in the desert. Like, you know, it's like robbing big damn near because like us or like what's the movie with Danny DeVito and Arnold Twins or whatever?
Twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because right? Yeah, we're rolling everywhere, just like trolling each other super hard and getting like. And you know, we had talk on IG too, especially when he was working on his show, because I had, you know, things I was developing with Rap Off, so he picked my brain about that. And I don't know, man, like that shit definitely broke my heart, man. I got them both, you know, obviously, you know, like rest in peace, Bender here.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, and this was like from our battle too, like a still. And then I have a new pad on my leg. But I was like, when I wanted to, you know, memorialize the boy, I was just like, I gotta troll him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like he would appreciate that.
He would appreciate. I think Pat would appreciate that though, Mac.
You know yeah. So I got him as a centaur,
right?
You know what I mean, with a horse body and like, you know, a little bit of a tribal tat on his chest, because since I told him 2 words to describe you, Pat, tribal tat. But I also put on the side of it, you are not a man. You know, because I'm like, that's like the hardest shit anyone ever said to me, and it's so classic. You are not a man. But you
2016
know,
world domination, man. What we talking about, man? Come on, man. Come on. That's when you hold on. Isn't that when you had the South Park rebuttal? Was it that?
Oh, that was versus him. Yeah. I forget what that was.
Rebuttal, man.
Bro, well, I memorized my material, and as soon as my 3rd round is done from the actual battle, it all goes like it just discards. Like they'll be like, "What did you say 2nd round?" Like I'm like, I don't remember.
That was a title match, right? Was that a title match?
Huh? Yeah, that was for the title. I got the thing, the thing somewhere over him.
Have you sit back and ever look at your resume?
Nah, I don't like, not necessarily. I mean, I got so much more I want to do, and that I'm not, you know, that I feel like I could room to grow and be better at my craft, that I don't want to be too focused on, you know, accomplish. Like obviously, like I want to honor the, you know, the accolades and the accomplishments, and I do have moments in have had moments in battles where I kind of like flex that as a reminder, but
as you should.
Yeah. But I mean, there's just so much more I want to do, you know, that it's like I'm always obsessing on that.
Bender, Pat Stay, Kid Twist, DNA, Verb, Ward, JC, Ill Will, Iron Solomon, Chiller, Arch, Rome, Real Deal Clips, Big K Magic, Pat. Your resume is crazy. And I didn't even talk about grind time with Disaster, Hollow, and Kind and Madness and all that shit that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I should even sit back and like, damn, I've accomplished a lot in this thing we call battle rap.
Yeah, and you know, BC like before, right? Like I have actual trophies and rings and you know what I mean, like accolades outside when but yeah, man, I mean, you know, sometimes I think about it, and even there's people in my ear all the time like, you need to flex that more, like you need to remind people, because you know, I think people forget without that. And I'm like, I know, but you know, even on the music side, the rap side, and like I'm bad with like, I love creating the art, but like selling people on shit is like not inspiring to me. I know that goes with it, but like that's not the part that tickles my brain, and you know, so I don't want to sell nobody on, you know, my legacy, you know.
Mac,
it's there.
Mac, how come you've never battled on URL?
I've gotten like a lot of different offers to go to URL, and it's kind of a thing where whether it's timing because I'm booked for something else, or opponent maybe not lining up right, or you know, even you know, just the right combination of money, opponent, and time just hasn't lined up as of yet, you know. But I talked to a couple people over there, and specifically even recently, you know, P's always on my line and stuff, trying to set something up, but it just hasn't lined up yet.
I don't want them to give you a 1 round like they did with the Thesaurus. I don't want you to get a 1 round. If you ever go over the URL, I don't want to see
I'm very selective when it comes to like what I want to do, and I know that touching that platform, I'm not going to shortchange myself or put myself in a situation to go over there and not have my best performance, because that would be, I think, undermining the legacy we're talking about on that stage. And I wouldn't. That's something that I do when, you know, I'm not sitting here want to talk about like or online. I might not talk about my legacy and these things, but one thing is I don't want to do. I think about the moves I make if they're going to maybe undermine that or whatever. But yeah, man, I'd love to go over there when the time and all those factors, you know, opponent and money is right, for sure.
2-part question. How did you get to why you're right? You battled JC and RB. How did that come about? And why only one time on RB? 3-part question. And I also saw you put a tweet out to ARP saying you want part of the Blue Room.
Yeah, man. If I'm not on the next Blue Room card, the whole PSA community, I want you there. Everybody, we march. We march on the venue, bro. So from the top, yeah, I battled JC. Like, I can't remember if it was the week after Solomon or if it was 2 weeks later, but it was right after Solomon. And you know, from my really bad memory, I think it was just a situation where RBE reached out, or I reached out to him, and we're like, yo, we got to make this happen. And I'm pretty sure it was him that said, that was like, you versus JC. I was like, all right, lock it in, let's go. Like, I'll be coming off of battling Solomon. I'll be ready. I'll be in war mode. So I went out there and had a good time and an amazing performance. An amazing time and a great performance, I think. And let's be honest, like, there's an overlap here. Do you know the overlap?
Talk to me.
With JC in Rum and me battling them. JC was on his trajectory and campaign to battle Lux. And a lot of people were talking about, this is going to happen, let's do it, da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. Then he battled me. Now, everybody forgot about that.
Hold on. If memory serves me right, wasn't the JC Lux talk about when he left RB and started going back to URL? Wasn't it really?
This was the height of it. When I was battling him, it was at the height of it.
Right. Okay.
And basically, like, I put a stop to that. You know what I mean? And it's a similar situation this time. Like, Lux might have to start paying me as a bodyguard, man. People get on a campaign to battle Lux, and then they make the mistake of battling me, and then they no longer have a Lux match on the table.
Wow, I see how I come around, a parallel universe.
Yeah, do you believe?
Do you believe? Shout out to Eddie Myers and everything, man. How proud are you of Ron with his bar stools and everything? Ron is doing that.
Oh yeah, he's killing it. I just texted him the other day, like, not only killing it with everything he's doing over there, but also, you know, putting on for battle rap, you know, from the compliment events and getting people out there on a new platform, to, like, you know, even his show with Pat Bev. Like, I'm definitely, and still he was on the Pat card, and I know, you know, he's not on necessarily like retired from what I know, like he's open as well. So, you know, I think that's like him and Dumb and even Hitman and Clips and Conceited and Math. And, you know, I'm proud of everybody who has come from this scene and this cloth and gone on to put on for the culture on a large and build their own platforms and put the culture on a larger pedestal. You know, that was That was like my thinking behind Rap Off as well, you know. So I definitely and you know, rest in peace. What Pat was doing too. He had a whole show going and all the skits, and I know you know, we had talked about you know, offers and things that he had going kind of outside battle rap. But I root for everyone to really be, you know, to really win, that has come from this. You know, we're like a big dysfunctional family, you know.
Yeah, we are a big dysfunctional. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
How are you looking forward to being in the building with JC, Thesaurus, Mike P, Carter Dean, Jada Nightwing, Sick, EK, Arsenal, A Ward, Big, all y'all being around each other like a fraternity?
Nah, it's gonna stink. Nah, man, of course, man. That's my, you know, those are my guys, man.
Right.
And I don't know all the matchups, you know, so and I don't want to know. Like I want to be surprised. I'm a fan of this shit as well,
Right.
and that's the exciting thing about battle rap. I mean, you got Geechee, you know, you got Big K, you got Rum, you got like all those names you just listed, like the hottest, you know, some of the hottest names in battle rap right now, and to see, you know, to add this mystery to it as well, like it's gonna be electric in the building, you know. Go get the pay-per-view. Go get your tickets. Me and Rum are day 2. What is it? Geechee Hollahan day 1. And I know there's gonna be a lot of crazy matchups. And I'm pretty sure me and Rum, or the venue, if my memory serves, we're in the Frack venue. You know, that's what I call it after the SoCon battle. That's Frack's venue. You know what I mean? So
that's my guy. Shout out my guy. That's my guy. Shout out Frack, man.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a great atmosphere for me and Nitty too.
Your last Blackout was at 2018, right? Am I right on that?
Honestly, I can't. You know better than me. I can't. Like I said, my memory is bad.
Right.
Yeah.
What made you do the animation, or what made you decide to go the animation route?
It was kind of what we talked about. I had been doing with putting on battle rap, but like I had been doing Raising the Bar, a series on my YouTube, and starting to build a lot of momentum around that. And you know, people were asking me like, yo, this is crazy. You know, it'd be crazy if you did something like even more battle rap related, like, you know, whether it's throwing your own battles or this and that. And I was just really thinking about it. And I'm like, when you look at battle rap and classically where any ceilings have been, it's one of the things that can limit it to new people who aren't in on it, is that like the inside references, and you got to know the storyline. I mean, that's exciting for a lot of us though. When you start delving, it becomes addictive because you start seeing all the threads connecting but when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I want to do something creative with battle rap where anybody can look at it and there's a storyline there. And then you know, the first thing I thought of was Dog versus Cat, Ketchup versus Mustard. And then I was like, how do you do that? Like battlers in costumes or whatever. And then, you know, so I kind of just went down the line and was like, actually cartoons would be perfect because you could like it adds a whole nother element of creativity you could put into the visuals, you know. And then from there it was like, well, let's just see how I could even make it happen. I reached out to a few different animators literally by searching animation on like Instagram, and DM'd a couple people with all different styles, and one hit me back that again was just a random person as far as my search, but they're like, yo, I've been a fan of you in battle rap. Is this dude Andre Salaf? I've been a fan of you in battle rap since before you went, or since, you know, Scribble Jam. I love battle rap, blah, 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 like the pay-per-view this weekend, blah, blah, blah. So we started talking. He was animating for, you know, I think the regular show at the time. He had done Adventure Time. You know, was I believe a creative director on Big Mouth, like season like 4 and 5 or whatever. Like, and he's super official and a battle fan. So long story short, you know, once I was like, okay, this is the concept, you know, and reached out to Diz, like, yo, Ketchup, you know, and we recorded and got everything. Long story short, when he sent the like first draft of the animation, there wasn't like, can you make it like this? I was like, oh yeah, this is it. And what you see was like no edit. I didn't ask for, hey, will you make his motion? Because he was such a battle fan, we were both adamant that like this isn't a parody. Not, you know, the more serious the animation and the characters are and the bars specifically, that's the secret of the sauce is we're not making the bars a joke and we're not making the animation a joke. But what makes it funny and out the box is the characters. They do all that. But if I was a mustard bottle or a ketchup bottle or a dog or a cat, those are the bars I would really go to the battle with. You know what I mean? Like, and so I've worked even with other animators and have had to break down that concept a little bit who might not have been battle fans of like, we're not trying to do the like, yeah, hip hop, like, you know what I mean? And hip hop is like this, like the old teach hip hop dance. I don't know if you remember that video. I'm like, this is not parody. Like, you know, Andres, even on Ketchup vs. Mustard, he was showing me shots of Ketchup vs. Mustard that he had took the exact angle from like a Twiz, like this is from Hitman vs. Hollow, the over the shoulder angle. This shot was inspired by Avo shooting that. So long story short, man, I just wanted to do something different and creative with, you know, to incorporate battle rap and found the right person to team up with.
When you ever told your homies or your friends or people that's close to you that you're gonna go this route with animation and cartoons, did people look at you like, yo, Mac, what the fuck are you on at first?
Nah, I mean, no, not for the most part. Like for the most part, the homies and shit are all like, all right, let's see how that, you know, but like, you know, even if, like say my mom or something, it's like, oh yeah, nice, that's cool, you know. And then of course though, she's like my biggest fan. Like when it comes out, she's like in the comments, you know, on YouTube, and so I think, but I tend to be a little reserved until I know if it's, you know, the outcome, but until I know the outcome of the final product is going to be fire. I'm not being like, this is the most amazing thing. I'm going to do a rapping ketchup bottle and mustard bottle battle. It's like, well, once I seen it, when I seen the animatic, I was like, oh, we might have something here. This is not just an experiment, you know?
What do you think about Twerk and Danny?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, I want to work more with both of them on Rap Off. Like, you know, they did the fish human battle. That's what you're talking about. Like so the Rap Off battles, by the way, Rap Off battle, we got, you know, tagged up constantly when Twerk dropped it, like, what, get the cartoon popping, get the animation popping, and then Danny responded and it was the same thing. So actually recently, I don't know if you've seen it, like I reached out to both of them and was like, yo, let's collab. Like, you know, with Rap Off, we did basically a remix of their battle. So we took,
I think it's your Instagram page, isn't it?
Yeah. Rap Off battles. Yeah. So we just took pieces because theirs were both their own videos dissing each other. We took pieces of it and basically had Danny re-record his with the like TikTok filter with eyes and mouth on a fish, and then cut back and forth like every 4 bars from Danny and him going back and forth, and just made it shorter or whatever. But that was obviously all their material. We were just like, what if we put it against each other now and gave it this funny visual element, you know? But they're both people that we want to work with, you know, even more, because I work with, like, I'm working on a big project right now. I don't think I could talk about that. I'm really excited about, but it's a collab, the Rap Off team, which is me, Frack, Pass, Thesaurus.
You guys have a meeting the other day, a Zoom meeting? I think I saw
we're working on this big project, and it's with like a, you know, a major, I guess I could say this, with a major sports media outlet, you know, and we're doing a collaboration with them. That's going to be really fire. So, but that to say, you know, we got a lot of projects that are sort of in the pipeline, and Twerk and Danny are people I definitely want to include even more. Their voices are perfect. You know, it's got the animation friendly, like, wildness to it, and their writing like just suits it. So, and there's a few people I've wanted to collab with. There's a lot of people that I've wanted to collab with in cartoons, but it's hard to it's an expensive medium, you know what I mean? 5 figures per minute of it, you know, is like animation costs. And so I really wish we could create more cartoons, but there's a lot of battlers that I think would be great and that I would want to make happen. I want to get K to voice a character. You know, we want Twerk and Danny to come back in. We want, like, imagine Coffee versus T, and it's like Danny Myers voicing Coffee and Shuffle T voicing T. You know what I mean? Like, we had my verse on the Kraft commercial we did voicing Breed and stuff. But yeah, man, it's really fun, and it's really dope to like think about the different battlers and who would be the great voices for, and get into that. We want to definitely do more.
Mac, did you have a viral moment a couple of years ago when you were short, when you were a young guy on the mic on the stage? Wasn't that you? Were you like a young boy?
That you're probably talking about what I mentioned earlier is my first battle I ever did.
Yeah, when you were a young dude. Yeah,
I was like wearing like a blue button-up Hawaiian soul t-shirt.
With confident young ILLMAC on top of that. You never like confident.
I need to get back to that energy, man. But yeah, that was my first battle I ever did. That was in 01. I was like 15. We were joking about it Thesaurus brought it up the other night in one of our meetings, and he was like, "You said something about you know, you wouldn't be ill if you got signed to the hospital." like I'm like, yeah, and the worst part is I think the setup was something like, "I rock a lot, not a little," or something like that. Bro, it's terrible. Oh, it's absolutely terrible. But yeah, that was from 01, man. That was insane.
Do you ever look at it in this comment of battle rap, and you're looking at people like, yo, you guys don't even know what I've been through in this culture, like the things that I've scribble jammed, to how many years I've been here, to rocking mics and crowds, and people looking at me as a young dude, a young white guy, in fact, like that, and I'm still rocking, people still rock with me and everything like that. You look at it like that, like, because I know you're a humble guy and everything like that, but Mac, you've done a lot, bro, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm humble. I definitely have my moments where sometimes I like gotta flex that. I'm kind, it's duality. I'm back and forth. At one point, I'm like, there's not a single person in battle rap who has the resume across time that I have. So if we're talking greatest of all time, it's me. And then the next, I'm like, yeah, but you haven't hit the main stage, and you did this thing in that battle, and that was terrible. That school shooter thing was horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm back and forth between being very, conceited. But the only time I really kind of think about that is when, if sometimes mostly when I'm preparing for a battle and feel like maybe feel like people are underestimating me, whether it's me telling someone or telling myself, like, look at what you've done, where you've been through all the showing up to an event with 64 MCs and there's one winner at the end of the night, one person gets paid, and that's been you 78% of the time when you would enter a battle, like bro, like, and in those moments, it's like reminding myself of that or speaking those truths is to, like, drum up that fire, that inspiration to use it for something,
Did you last question here? Did you expect you and Big K to have a classic going into that battle?
I really thought it could be. That battle was my idea. So I went to Ganick and was like, yo, I want to battle K. I watched his 7:30 battle, his battle versus Rosenberg Raw. There was other ones too, but those two in particular, like me and all the homies, the homie Goldini Bagwell, all of us will watch it. I think he was the first one who showed me K. Have you seen K? And then showed me 7:30. But I was a fan. And I was like, damn, and I brought him out to Grind Time Northwest. I was running a branch of Grind Time in the Northwest and putting battles on. And I brought him out to Grind Time Northwest to battle my guy 9DM. And he went crazy.
You battled 9DM also, didn't you battle 9DM?
Yeah, I battled him too. I think I battled him a couple events later. That was my boy. But me and Kay kicked it after that. Like, we went in the studio, we made that song "Know My Name" that dropped on our battle. And he is hella cool. So and we were hella chill. So, but then later I was like, I think me versus K, you know, thinking about the Bender battle and you know, looking at somebody who battling someone who I really respect, I was like, I think K could push my pen to a different place. Like, you know, and so I brought it up to Gannick, and then I was like, before you reach out, let me call K. Because I don't want him to be surprised. We were just kicking it like a couple weeks ago, you know? And so I hit up K and was like, bro, I think we would be a crazy battle, you know, not on no weird shit. Like, I'm not trying to plot. We were just kicking it. But I just think it would be fire. Like, I think you would push my pen. But I think after we got off the phone, he's like, this fool, we were just kicking. What's he got on me? What's he? This will try to set me. Like, we talked about it, joked about it. Like, he thought I was gonna try to be like, you know, do some weird exposing or whatever. You know what I mean? And I was in, but I had a feeling that that could be a classic because I looked at it the whole time like it could push me to be the best that I could be. And it was funny because when that battle got announced, everybody, the whole, like almost, I'll say 80 to 90% of everyone's like, this match don't make sense.
It didn't make sense back at the time. I was like, this is weird.
Everybody said that.
It's weird.
Everybody, but I seen it. I seen the vision. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it panned out, you know, pretty much how I seen it. Got like battle of the year on the Source when the Source was heavy in battle rap at that time, and
one of the best battles that year. It was one of the best battles that year.
Yeah, I think I definitely went into it thinking it could be a classic because it was the whole thing I pushed for it just to push my pen to a new level. You know.
Did you watch Easy and Geechee?
Yeah, I watched it.
What's your thoughts, Back?
I mean, man, like, what are we talking about? What are we talking
what's the elephant in the room, right?
You know what I mean?
You got Geechee winning or Easy? Who you got winning? Okay, self-explanatory.
Yeah, Geechee. What do you think?
Yeah, I get you winning.
Yeah, man, Geechee. I mean, he's a tough opponent.
So what's going through your mind as a rapper, as a battle rapper, listening to that third round? What's going through your mind?
I'll never battle Geechee. That's what's going through my head. Is like, yeah, I've never battled that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what Geechee actually thinks about me. We're cool. We're cool to slap daps and Passy and chop it up at, you know, at Avo's crib and you know, make a song every now and then. And I'm like, I like that. I like not knowing what he thinks about
not knowing, right?
Yeah.
Mac, man, I appreciate you taking your time to rock with me. Can we talk after your battle, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Mac, I appreciate you, King.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me, man. But wait, before we go, I'm interested. What's your take on the battle? What's your of the dynamic going into it? I'm taking notes. I want to know. Yeah. Like, not if it'll be a classic, but like how that style clash works and the keys to victory for each of us.
The keys to victory for both of y'all. See, Nitty's gonna do what Nitty's gonna do. We know he's the alien, right? The punches are gonna be there. He's gonna say a lot of shit that his energy is gonna be on 10 and everything like that. With you have a dry sense of sarcasm, humor, and everything. You're funny. So I think and you have a poker face when you battle. I noticed that and everything like that. Listen, I got Nitty 2-1, right? I gotta play the weighing game though, man. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Listen, I would say this. I'll be disappointed if this battle doesn't have high replay value. I'll be shocked. I will be shocked.
You don't think Nitty's gonna try to, you know, go out the box like, oh, he's thinking, you know, you don't think he's gonna try to do some crazy shit? Absolutely. Like I think if it was ever a battle that I could see him thinking, this is my time to, you know what I mean? to do something unexpected.
It's a respect. He know what the fuck it is with you though. It's a respect factor. He know he can't slip up and be on some bullshit against you. He knows that.
You think I could, like, do I gotta go in and punch with him like that? What do you think? I'm trying to get the game. I'm trying to get game from you right now.
I like you, sir. You're the writer, sir. You know better than I. You're the writer, sir. I think you gotta mix it up though. Mac, I think you know that. I think you got to mix it up with when a guy like Nitty and everything like that. I think he's going to say some wild shit and everything. I think you stick to your game plan and what makes you ILLMAC. You know. 100%. But once again, I'm gonna say this again. I would be shocked if this battle doesn't have high replay value. It'd be weird. I would be shocked. This should be in discussion of one of the best battles of 2023 with other battles, obviously. It should be.
Yeah, right? I think we can make battle of the year. I think that's what I'm going for.
And let's be honest, Nitty's pushing your pen, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's pushing your mind. He's pushing your thoughts. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a situation where I don't think that it's not like left field. This was like the K match, right? Mm-hmm. It was something that people wanted to see. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because it'll be interesting to see in the ring how the styles match up, because even you look at him and Iron. You know what I mean? Like
it's another battle. People thought that was a weird battle going into that battle, and then we got a classic out of that.
Got a classic out of it. Exactly. I cleared Iron. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I love him, but he's admitted in an interview. So, like, just put that in perspective. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I mean, what did each of us do with Ward? Like, he might have got him, but like, I cleared him. You know, there's just certain things that people might not be thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
Keep that in the back of your brain when you talk about this battle. Right?
Yeah, just remember.
Oh man, Mac, man, we definitely gonna talk, man. I can't wait. 2-day event, September 30th and October 1st, right?
Correct. Yeah, me and Nitty headlining day 1 and Geechee Hallahan headlining day 2. KOTD.TV. Get the pay-per-view, get the tickets. It's gonna be crazy.
Word. Mac, I appreciate you, King.
Good looking out, man. We'll talk.
Mac, you already.